to see you play at your best.
Yeah. Have you had a time where you've kind of lost a bit of motivation and had to go about getting yourself back?
Definitely last year actually was probably the first time I've really felt like I was lacking motivation, purely just because
everything stopped and
what were we training for?
Yeah.
You know, it was there's nothing going ahead, so, you know, why aren't I just training at club, not really focusing on playing, you know, international hockey at that point? And I think a lot of people struggle with that, but I think, you know, I found the motivation side of things, like to get back to it, was just trying to find a way to be better every single day. So just, you know, it didn't have to be much, but like, you know, for example, you know, in hockey it's so technical, so it's not gross motor skills, it's fine. Really fine. So for example, like when I trap the ball, it's in between my feet rather than on the outside of my right foot, so that makes me do an extra touch before I can pass the ball. You know, for me, it was just purely just practicing on trapping on that right foot, trapping on that right foot every single day, just to make sure that I was getting better and better and more consistent at it. Because breaking habits is so hard when it's been such a you know, I've played for 16 years and I've always trapped the ball in the middle of my feet.
Do you find it when you constantly focus on something like that, you want to take it from being so, because when you're practicing that skill is kind of close, so you're doing it in a not high intensity environment, that sort of stuff. But when you start to have it into games, do you find that habits start to creep back in as you start to fatigue off and it's such a hard...
So fatigue, I think, is the big killer when executing skills. I mean, as soon as you get fatigued, you fall back into old habits, regardless of whether that's trying to carry the ball more or rather than pass it. Your decision making is definitely impacted by how fatigued you are. But I think for me, the thing that I always struggled with, if I'm working on a skill a lot, I'll be just purely thinking about that skill in the game rather than just letting the training take the care of itself. So that's sort of something I focused on this year in particular. As soon as I start playing a game, don't think about what I'm working on.
Let it just come.
Just let it come.
Happen.
Yeah.
The mistake's going to happen in the game anyway, so you can't always be 100%
I think Simon
efficient
Black,
with your skills. So
Simon Black said that. I remember I was watching a pre-game interview in 2009, and they asked him, you know, what more do you have to achieve? And he said, the perfect game. No one's ever going to play it, so you've always got to be able to continue to seek and strive to play that perfect game.
What's that famous quote? Was that aim for the stars and reach the moon? So that's what that all kind of comes down into. Yeah,
so I think that particular, you know, if you're continually trying to find small elements of your game that you're not exactly strong at, you can always find motivation to train.